Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Yasser Salama. I'm a senior, and I'm going to be performing an excerpt from my senior honors project. You may have seen the posters around campus, Toler hated, Muslim in America. This is day 2 of that 6-day project. If you're here to see it, thank you so much for coming. If you're not, give me 15 minutes and I'll be gone and you don't have to worry about it anymore. So each day has a theme of this week. Yesterday, the theme was mental health. Today, the theme is systemic discrimination. So I'll be speaking about discrimination that I have faced as a Muslim in academia and that I've witnessed in politics in this country. So if you'd like to stick around, please do. And if you want to leave, I'm not going to take offense to it. I get it, some of you are studying. But this first piece is called School on Christmas. I think I'll just let the piece do the rest of the talking, but thank you so much for coming, and this is School on Christmas. Woo. Can you imagine going to school on Christmas Day? A day supposed to be about faith, about family, about friends, about love, maybe about presents. Going to school on this happy, carefree day, wouldn't that suck? I mean, this is a day of joy. Most every family in America is allowed to take this day off. Can you imagine going to school? Can you see that little 7-year-old kid who just wants to sleep late in their bed at home, maybe spend all day in their pajamas, wake up to the smell of hot cocoa, run downstairs, and see their family waiting with a present under a tree? Can you see that little kid? Yeah, no. He has to run, get dressed, and rush out the door to make sure they catch their bus. Can you imagine being that kid? You'd be devastated, right? I would be. But thankfully, that'll never happen. I mean, most public schools in America give 2 full weeks off around Christmas time. In college, we get a month, 30 days, and a semester change. No academic responsibilities on Christmas from the age of 0 to at least 21. That's fantastic. Like, legitimately, you should have that time to rest, to celebrate, to be with your loved ones. It's beautiful. But have you ever thought about the people who celebrate a different holiday? There are some 3 to 5 million Muslims living in America right now, and we've been going to school on Christmas our entire lives. It is just as devastating as it sounds. We may not celebrate Christmas, but we have 2 holidays a year, Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, the festival of the breaking the fast after Ramadan ends, and the festival of the sacrifice to commemorate Abraham's willingness to sacrifice his son. These holidays last 3 and 4 days respectively, but most Muslims, especially in Western societies, we only really celebrate the first day. The Islamic calendar is lunar, so on the Gregorian calendar, the dates of these move back by about 11 days every year. But because astronomy and technology have advanced so much, we can accurately predict the days years in advance. You know, some years one Eid will fall during winter break, spring break, summer, maybe just a weekend. In 2033, Eid al-Fitr is actually predicted to fall on Christmas Eve. I don't know about you, but I'm so excited for Christmas Eve. Most years, though, we're not that lucky. You know, in elementary school, it's just a minor annoyance to parents, assuming they're able to get the day off without taking too much of a financial hit. Kids, we don't care. I know I didn't. We just don't go to school on Eid and it's marked as religious observance. No biggie. By the time you get to high school, though, it gets tricky. When missing one day can set you back a week, you start doubting if it's even worth celebrating. Now, I took the days off as long as I could, but come junior year of high school, there was no way. I was taking 4 AP classes, pre-calc, my God. Some 4 hours of homework on a good day after staying at school till 10 p.m. every day for rehearsals. After all that, missing a day and all that makeup work, it wasn't worth it. So I woke up, I went to Salat al-Eid, Eid prayer, early in the morning, and I was at school an hour later. My senior year, I had to do the same thing. I remember feeling, this doesn't feel like Eid. It didn't. It really didn't. It sucked. It really sucked. Now, people raised Christian and people raised non-religious can't understand this, and it's nothing against any of you who practice those faiths or don't practice the faith. You just never have and will never have to experience anything like this ever. I mean, almost every single major Christian holiday in public schools gets at least 1 day off. Good Friday, Easter, Christmas. The number of days all students get off school for the holidays of the Christian faith can get pretty high real fast. Anywhere from 20 to 40 days off, depending on the school. I mean, these are not days where your absence gets marked as religious observance. These aren't days where you fall behind while your classmates excel. No, these are days where no teachers, no students, no one comes in, the school is closed for as many as 40 days. Now, don't get me wrong, as a Muslim, I love these breaks. I'd be so upset if they were gone. But I wish I could have 2. Just 2 for us compared to the 40 for them. Getting that day off, wherever it ends up falling, it would help so much. It could bring grades of Muslims in America up because missing one day can be detrimental. It could bring morale of Muslims in America up because if you had to go to school on Christmas every year, I bet you wouldn't be too happy either. And it would give everyone an opportunity to learn about the people that so many in their ignorance are so scared of. And I'm just saying, if Muslims got everyone 2 more days off school, I think it's a great way to get Islamophobes to be like, okay, so they're not all bad. There's no good reason to have school on Eid. I want to wake up on Eid morning, go to prayer, spend the day with my family, eat a big breakfast, give and get presents, and take a day just to celebrate. Everyone deserves a celebration every once in a while. All I am asking is that the Muslims growing up in America right now get a chance at what was denied for me. The ability to wake up on Christmas morning and not have to think about school. Thank you. Those of you who didn't want to be here, 5 more minutes, that's all I'm asking, I'm sorry. The second piece I'll be doing today is Send Her Back. I wrote this one back in 2019 under a different administration after an event that really recentered how unfortunate the political landscape in this country is for someone who looks and practices like me. Also, at the end of this, if you could come up here, and there's a QR code on this table right here, scan it for resources. There are resources directly related to what I'm talking to you about today. For School on Christmas, what I just talked to you about, I actually have drafted an email that just copy and paste it, send it to the registrar, asking to have Eid given as a holiday permanently at Wake Forest University. Because if Wake Forest, a top 30 school, a Southern Ivy, were to give Eid off, that could spark a national conversation. And a piece like this might never have to be written again. And you could literally see the changes that you asked for surrounding Eid. So just come up, scan this. There's petitions to sign, donation links, more reading because I'm talking to you for 15 minutes and I'm not going to cover everything I need to. So come up after that and it'll be great. The second piece today, Send Her Back. Do you know how many foreign-born members there were in the US House of Representatives in 2019? I didn't before I wrote this piece, but I want you to think about it. Out of the 435 voting members, how many? Any guesses? Shout them out if you want.
3.
3? Okay. Anyone else?
20.
20? Okay. There were 23. Hey, let's go. Nice. Yeah, 23 out of the 435. What about US senators? There's only 100 of them.
2.
2? 3? Okay. Just like last time, we're going to combine those numbers for 5. 5 over the 100. 5% of all US senators and 5% of all US House of Representatives members were foreign-born. Literally 1 in 20. 1 in 20. I want you to see that number, to see it in real life. Think back to when you were in K-12. 1 in 20, that's at least 1 in every classroom. At my high school, 1 in 20 was, 125 of my peers. Here at Wake Forest, 1 in 20 comes out to be roughly 250 of us. And this audience right here, right now, I'm going to count the people that I don't really think are listening. That's 2, 3 of us, just under these tents. On a big bus, that's 3. A crowded restaurant, maybe 5. On a big airplane, that could be upwards of 20. 1 in 20. And in the 2019 US Congress, that added up to 28 members between the two houses. 28 people who decided to dedicate years of their lives to serving those around them. But of these 28, how many do you think were told by their own president to go back home, to leave this country? All of them? Half? Maybe 1 in 20. In reality, it was even less. It was 1. One single representative who had to stand and listen as she heard hundreds, if not thousands of people chant, "Send her back! Send her back! Send her back! All the while, then President Trump stood, looked around, watched, and listened. The chants spurred by 45's remarks, the chants quieting only as he resumed his speech, berating her 1 in 28. Why? If those chanters in Greenville, North Carolina, just a 3-hour drive from where we're sitting right now, feel so strongly about sending people back to the country they were born in, why not call for all 28 to return home? This representative, her opposition loves to do the whole, if you don't like America, leave. The thing is, in my opinion, the very best thing about America is we're allowed to criticize people and policies we disagree with. And if people really do believe the whole, if you don't love everything about America, leave, if they really believe that logic, they should leave. Because they don't love what makes America what it is, and that is the right to incessantly criticize it. So that's not the reason. So what could it be? You know, people accuse her of hating America, but she doesn't hate America. But frankly, controversial, even if she did, who cares? She wants to fix it, make it a place that no one hates. To me, that's more of an act of love than an act of hate, but regardless, it doesn't matter. So try as they might to convince us, that's not the reason they want to send her back either, so what is it? 1 of 28 immigrants serving in Congress, 1 of 13 immigrants of color serving in Congress, 1 of 7 immigrant women serving in Congress, 1 of 5 immigrant women of color serving in Congress, 1 of 1 immigrant Muslim women of color serving in Congress, and 1 of 1 who had to face these kinds of discrimination from the President of the United States and his supporters. The first hijabi, one of the first 2 Muslim women and the first female Muslim immigrant to ever serve the country in this capacity, Ilhan Omar, is someone who shares my faith, dresses like my mother, and talks like my father. To see my family finally be represented on a national scale in politics in America like this, it's beautiful. It's an experience I never thought I'd get to have. But to see her be told to go back home, to get out of this country, to get out of here, that is the experience I knew I'd have. It's the experience I have had. Donald Trump, he has been one of the worst symptoms of the Islamophobic virus we have been made to overcome in this country. I know Muslims overseas who prefer their military dictator to Donald Trump. They've told me themselves. He has regressed Muslim quality of life in America so badly. Hate crimes against people like me were worse after his election than they were on September 12th, 2001. Donald Trump disgusts me. So many things about his presidency disgusted me. Those chanters disgust me. But overcome him, we did. And just like Ilhan, I'm still here. Just like Ilhan, I am talking to all of you. And just like Ilhan, I will continue to fight for those around me. Because if I can convince just one of you who didn't believe me before that I am Muslim, that my faith is one of love, of acceptance, and of peace, and that I am just as normal and just as strange as all of you, then by God, this will be worth it. Thank you. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to come up and ask, and please scan this QR code for resources. Thank you so much for coming.
Woo!